Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. It is a cloudy day here in San Diego, but it's going to be a great day. We've got a lot of things planned for today. I want to welcome everybody. If you're new, please make sure you do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there, that big red button. Turn it gray, and don't forget to turn on all your bell notifications. You got to be notified so that when I go live or I upload a video, you'll be notified. Feel free to use that chat box there, guys. Put whatever questions, comments, suggestions you got in there. That would be greatly appreciated. I really do appreciate it. Actually, all those comments in there keeps things going really well. You know, I do these training sessions every day for you guys to help you start, run, and grow online businesses. But if you have a question that is not on the subject I'm doing, don't worry about it. Feel free to ask that question. That's fine, as long as it has something to do with making money online, because that's all I really talk about. James says, golly bum, my clumsy fingers accidentally touched the send gizmo. Loud and clear in Savannah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, James. You let me know that you guys could hear me. And guys, you know, post in there. What's going on with your life? What are you doing? Share with me. This is an open forum here. I do these sessions live for you guys. And today I'm going to talk about making literally millions of dollars by doing stuff for free. And I know that sounds kind of bizarre, but it's really how the internet works. And as soon as you figure out this thing about the internet and how actually free equals money, and I know that doesn't sound normal in any other world, but it really does make a big difference online, or at least at reduced cost. I'll talk about at reduced cost too, and how that'll make you a lot of money. Get another sip here. If you don't know me, and if you're new, I operate several different businesses online. The first business I had online was, well, actually I had ones before that didn't do well, but my survival food company does very well, and that is Survivalcave Food. Let me put that in there. Feel free to Google Survivalcave Food, and that is our main company. But I also do sales training. I teach people how to make money online. I have courses on Facebook ads. I have courses on Shopify, on drop shipping, on emailing, all kinds of different courses online that you can get access to. And you can find links to all of that in the description below. So yeah, you can check that out. James says, oh yeah, I remember to hit the like button. I forgot to tell him. Thanks, James. Make sure you hit that like button. That's really important. And that you do that on every single video. And James is always positive. He says, we're going to have a great session today. We already are. We're already having a great session, aren't we? But make sure you hit that like button. Do it on every single video. You can go through my whole channel if you want, just like videos. That would be very helpful. But today we are talking about this content thing, and it's really pretty important that you wrap your brain around this. It's really hard to make money if you don't understand this. Because, you know, having that free content matters so darn much. I mean, it really, really does. And let me adjust one thing here. I got one thing that I need to adjust. One second. It's kind of hard. This thing, I've got my computer up on the stand because it's difficult to get to. There we go. Okay. And it's hard because I got to stand up to get to it. I've got it like on this, I don't know, basket and then a box. Nothing fancy, that's for sure. But it works well for me. So that's why I use it. Are you guys posting content now? You know, I'd like to kind of see who is actually doing that right now. Who is actually posting content? And where are you posting content? And what are you posting content about? I'd like to know some of that. So feel free to put that in the chat section if you're doing that. All right, let me get all my stuff up here. There we go. And I do content, you know, every single day. I mean, that's just what I do. I post content, and it's worked out well for me. But I want to talk about why these things work out well and the psychology behind content. And you know, I would tell you the first thing is don't post anything or do anything that is misleading to people. That's the biggest thing. Have you checked out Mike Filsame's Groove Digital? No, I haven't. I know Mike, met him, and there's so many things to really check out and do. And I know a lot of his stuff is kind of like a knockoff of Kartra, so I have not, for that reason. It's just too many things, just too many things to do to get into all that now. So let's talk about what your expertise is. Are you an expert? Odds are you are an expert. You just don't know you're an expert. And what is the qualification for being an expert? I don't even know what it is. But I think it is knowing more than the person that you're sharing content with. I think that's pretty much all an expert is. Are there all kinds of degrees and things that you can get in life? Yeah, there are. But the thing is, a lot of people with all those degrees don't make any money. And a lot of people without degrees have made a lot of money. You look at some of the top minds in the world, billionaires, and they just, have concentrated on what their expertise is. So here's what happens. Once you post content online, you are searchable. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. Whether it's a video, whether it's a blog, no matter if you're just talking, online, whatever it is, you're now searchable because there's something there. So when you go to sell something, a course or information or your product or whatever it is, they look and they see that you're online. They see that you've posted stuff. They see that you've done stuff. And as soon as you do that, what that's going to do is that's going to lend a little bit of credibility to you. Now, obviously, the more stuff you post online, then, the more credibility you're going to have. And you can do that several different ways. You can have a blog on your website. When you have a blog on your website, people can go to it. They can learn different things. I think probably one of the best blogs is Neil Patel. Neil Patel has a great blog. You may want to check him out. But he consistently posts content. I mean, all the time. And in doing so, he's created a name for himself just by posting that content on a consistent basis. And that's something that will lend some credibility. The next thing that happens is when you post any content, whether it's a blog, whether it's a video, no matter what it is, you're giving people kind of a taste of you, okay? You're saying, hey, this is some of the stuff I know. This is some of the stuff I want to share. And when they see that, they're getting to see basically a sampling of you. I see a lot of people who will tease with their content. And when I say tease, what they do is they will not really give the content. They'll promise that if you buy their course, if you get their stuff, then you're going to get the real answers. And I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think personally, I would lead with some of my best content. And I do have some of my best content free. Now, obviously, if you get one of my courses or something like that, it's more organized. You can go through it in fashion and, accomplish your goals a whole lot easier, more than just random content that I put out there. But certainly you want to put out content, guys, that is some of your best stuff. And I know a lot of people are afraid to do that. They say, man, I don't want to give up my best stuff because then I won't have anything to sell. Well, you should have more than whatever you're doing online, okay? Like I've got more than a 10-minute video or a 30-minute video to instruct people with. But if you don't give up your really good stuff, okay? If you don't really give them something awesome online for free, then they aren't going to think much of what you do have. They're not going to go, oh, well, he's kind of teasing. Maybe I'll buy his course and see if it's any good. They don't want to do that. They want to see if it's good already. So having that content that is some of your best stuff is so very important. And I didn't cover it in the beginning, but content can be delivered in so many different ways. It could be a downloadable PDF that you give away for free. It could be a blog that you've written on your website. It could be a contributor blog that you wrote on somebody else's website. It could be videos that you do. It could be live streams that you do, like what I'm doing right here, right now. All of these things are content, and they all help build your brand. The next thing it does is it brings mind of recognition. And what I mean by that is if you're consistently posting things online. You're consistently doing videos online. Like I consistently do a lot of different videos. I'm always front of mind because when people go online, they're like, oh, he did some more stuff. Oh, he did some more stuff. He did some more stuff. Now I've been doing it, I guess really content contribution for free for probably about 6 years, I want to say. I probably started in 2015 doing that. And prior to that, I didn't. Prior to that, I just concentrated on my business. I concentrated on making money online, which was fine. But then once I discovered that I could help people out, that was kind of a cool thing. And that comes to my next step. When you post content, you actually help people. You're actually helping people out there. Everybody has pain points, whether it's the pain of, training their dog to, pee outside, or whether it's the pain point of making some money, whether it's the pain point of knowing how to do an Excel spreadsheet, whatever it is, they all need something. And when you can fill that pain point, when you can make that pain go away with your content, with your information, with your contribution, you're going to build up some loyalty. And loyalty is pretty darn important. I am, I don't know, 20 or 30 people away, 40 people away, I don't know, from hitting my 5,000. I've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now, hitting my 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I think I've gotten a lot of them just because of loyalty, because I keep giving people free content. I keep teaching people how to do these things. And that's so very important. And then I want to go back to what I said in the beginning too. The content that you give people, make sure it's proven and make sure it works. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to post something online. Maybe you post how to send out emails and you give some examples of emails. People are going to take that information and they're going to try it, and they're going to apply it to their audience, their list, or whatever. And if they use your information and they get good results, guess what they're going to do? They're going to come back to you for more information. Now that information may be in the form of some free stuff, but it also may be in the form of buying information from you in the form of a course or a book or whatever it is you're selling, or your services. Maybe you're doing SEO or something like that. So they're going to come back to you and go, well, the free stuff worked, and since the free stuff worked, I bet his paid stuff or her paid stuff is really, really good. So it's really important that when you put this information out there, it's proven information. Now think of the flip side of this. Let's say you put out some examples of emails, and those emails were taken by somebody and they applied it and they sent it out to their list and they got 0 results. Nobody opened the emails, nobody bought from the emails, nothing happened. What have you just done? You've just tarnished your reputation, right? You've tarnished your chances of selling these people anything in the future, because they're going to go, well, his stuff doesn't work, her stuff doesn't work. And I see that a lot. I see people, and the only reason I know this is because I've been doing this for so many years now, but I see people putting out information that I know is not going to work. I know it's not going to work. I watched a guy who had a course on how to make money on affiliate marketing. And he would tell people to go and sign up for his affiliate program, of which they get 50%, and then take his affiliate marketing stuff and post it everywhere to get people to buy his course, and then that way they could make money. He would tell them to send it to their friends, their family, on social media, and a lot of these things were violations of some of these social platforms. But imagine all of a sudden tomorrow you have some other guy's course, and you're telling your friends and family, hey, you ought to get his course because he'll make you money. And that's how I'm making money, by pushing his course. I don't think so. I don't think so. First off, that tells you how he's making his money. He's making his money off other people trying to push his stuff. He doesn't know how to market his stuff. If he knew how to market it, he wouldn't need to go out and find affiliates or make affiliates out of people who aren't and have them, market his program. It was the craziest thing in the world. Now, has he made some money doing that? Yeah. Is there longevity to that? No, there's not, because you haven't really set people up for success. All you've done is set yourself up for success. And the way he said to go about it and just post stuff on social media, the odds of anybody buying his courses were very slim, but he did the numbers. He would say, well, I'm going to get thousands of people doing this, and if I get thousands of people doing it, and each individual person posts like 300 or 400 times, and I get one sale off it, then that's good for me. But it's not good for them. And that's the other thing you got to look at. Is it good for them? So when you're posting your content online, the next thing I would tell you is make it good for them. What is the benefit they're going to get out of it? I try to give people information so that when they've consumed this information, when they've learned this information, they can actually have a tool or a talent to go out and make money on their own without me. They won't need me. So they don't need to market my course to make a living. I teach them, and I have another course coming out on this, but I'll teach them how to make their own course, how to market their own stuff, how to do stuff that's going to work on any kind of product, whether it's a physical product, whether it's a digital product. And if I do that and I improve their life and they have new skills, then when I come out with something else, they may buy it. And that's the next thing I'm going to tell you. Not everybody's going to buy from you. Not everybody's going to buy from you. You got to deal with that. Not everybody's going to buy from you. As a matter of fact, the majority of the people are not going to buy from you. They're just not. And that's okay. That's okay. You say, well, I don't want to give all this free information to all these people and they never buy anything from me. That's the game. That's the game. That's how this thing works, is that you provide all this free information and every now and then somebody will buy something from you. That's how it works, every now and then. But if you do this enough and you provide enough good information, that small portion of people that's going to buy from you will make up for all the ones that don't. It's the same thing with running ads. The small portion of the ads that work are going to make up for all the ads that don't. That's just life. It goes right back to that 80-20 rule. You're going to try 100 things and 80 of them are going to probably fail, but the 20 will make up for all that 80. And that's how you got to look at it. So posting content online, whether it's videos, whether it's blogs, whether it's articles, no matter what it is, whether it's lives like I'm doing right now, should all lead to profit on down the road, but that's not the purpose in doing it. The purpose in doing it is actually to help people out. Imagine that. You actually help people out and they get results, and then on down the road they may buy something from you. What a theory, right? James says, I read that changing the word register, which didn't get conversions to next, dramatically improved sales. Yeah, we test that stuff all the time. What we like to do on the buttons is we will put on there what they're actually doing. So instead of saying, submit, okay, on a button, we'll put claim your food, okay? So we'll actually put on the button what it is, or pick your time, or register. Well, we do use the word register, by the way. We've done fine with it, but it'll say register now, because when they click the button, what does that mean? What are they doing? I think it's really important on buttons, and don't put on there click here. What does click here mean? Click here means nothing. But that is an important distinction, and you've got to test it. Every page is different. We just recently changed my wife's opt-in page, and we went from like 8% up to like 25% because we did some changes on our page. And that's another thing. I don't care how long you've been in this, you're going to learn some basics. But no matter how long you've been in this, you still got to test stuff, because you're not the market. You're just somebody who is trying to market. When I say you're not the market, whatever you think, whatever you want to do doesn't matter. What matters is the reaction of the market. So you try different things and see what they're going to do. Let me look at some of your other comments here. Paul says, I think it's so important to build your own products. It can be, yeah, and some people have made a living off being an affiliate marketer, marketing everybody else's products. The problem with being an affiliate marketer, if you're not building a list, is that you've never built anything. In other words, you don't have an audience you can go to. So that's the tough part of that. Let's see here. Paul says, I think your reputation for delivering quality information and content is so important to building your brand. That's the draw here for me. Oh, well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah, and all I really do, my content is just based on stuff I've tried that worked. And then I tell you about the stuff I tried that didn't work. And then that way it saves you some time. I mean, basically, that's all my training is. It is stuff that I've tried, it's proven, it's made me money, odds are it's going to make you money too. Does it mean that everybody's going to make money with it? No. As a matter of fact, I think it's interesting, Frank Kern, I think, is a really good marketer. And I think it's funny, a lot of people think, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all of Frank Kern's stuff and I'm going to do exactly what he does and I'm going to make a lot of money. And it won't work. It won't work. As a matter of fact, I talked to Frank. I was in a war room with him in a mastermind, and we were sitting across the table, and he was saying that his success was based on what he did, and what he did was he spent $10 million on making himself Frank Kern. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, if you run enough ads for enough time, people get to know you, and all of a sudden you become that person that you've run all the ads about. So he said he invested $10 million in becoming Frank Kern. So if you were to have all of his stuff, or you were to have all my stuff, and you do exactly what I do, and you don't put in any extra work or effort or anything like that, you just try to copy everything, you're not going to be successful. And you're not, because you're not me, right? When people buy my course, they buy J.R. Fisher's course. All right, they know me from my content and all that. This is something you need to build on your own, and that's why I don't tell people, hey, copy all my stuff and you're going to get rich. I'm saying, no, these things I'm going to show you work really well, but you've got to apply them to your own brand and your own stuff. And I think that's one thing Paul just said was, build your own stuff. It's very true. You got to kind of have your own stuff. You got to have your own brand. They're going to buy because of you, and people are more apt to buy because it's a person now than it's a company. And if you don't think that's true, look at all the big companies that have failed, like Sears and Macy's and JCPenney's and all these big companies that had that brand name, but they didn't have any person behind it. There was no person there. I don't know how Men's Warehouse is doing, but for the years it was George Zimmer with the Men's Warehouse, and a lot of people bought their suits there because it was George. That's why they bought them. Now it's just the Men's Warehouse, and there's nobody behind it. It's just the name Men's Warehouse. So it lost its shine with me. I used to go in there. I don't go anymore. Let's see here. How many things do you change when testing? One, just one. Because if you change multiple things, and I'm going to give a caveat to this in just a second, but if you change multiple things, you won't know which thing worked. And the caveat I'll give you to this is, if you want to change multiple things, that's you only do that if the thing you're working on, let's say it's an opt-in page, is getting almost no results. If you're getting almost no results, you're getting like less than 1% opt-in, then the whole page is bad. Something's really bad there. But like we just did Jessica's page and changed just 2 or 3 things, but we did them all individually to see what happens. So in other words, let's say you want to test a headline in an email. That's fine, but don't change the email. Right? Because you just want to change the headline to see which headline works best. Once you figured out what headline works best, or subject line, I shouldn't say headline, then of course you could go and change the email to see which email works best. But you only want to change one thing at a time, and you only want to change one thing at a time because if you change 3 things, which thing made the difference? You don't know. So that's really important. By the way, I sent you a message on Messenger. Hope you take message in spirit given. Paul, I have not checked these, but since we're here now, let's see what's going on in Messenger. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, this is a long one, Paul. This is a long one. Oh my goodness. I'll have to read this later. There's a lot of stuff. Let me read all this, Paul, and I will get back to you. Okay, I can't read all this right now. There's a lot to read. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate you going through that time to do that. That's effort, and I appreciate that. Paul says, loved Men's Warehouse, but like you, I'm not a slave to fashion, more of an F and W suit guy. Funeral and wedding. I don't like to dress up. I'd rather have my shorts and t-shirt. I have to dress up certain times. I'm getting ready to go to a wedding now on the East Coast, and I'm leaving next month. Yes, this is May. I got to think of what month it is. I'm leaving next month on the 9th, I gotta put on some dress clothes. Got to do that, guys. We're nearing the end here, but if you got any questions on what I've shared today about content, and this is how you make millions, by doing free things. Understand that, and I talked about this yesterday. You're never going to find your audience. Ever. They got to find you, and the only way they're going to find you is if you do stuff for people, you help people out, you give them good information, you provide the information that's going to get them results. If I provide you with an email and you use that email and you make $10,000, you're going to go, yeah, I'm going to listen. If I provide you with a sales page, if I provide you with this information I'm giving you today, and you go out there and post stuff and you start getting people following you, you're going to go, yeah, what he's saying is true. So I encourage you, try this stuff out. Don't just listen to me. Put it into practice, because listening to me teaches you, but putting it into practice actually makes you money. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You got to put the stuff into practice. I see so many people who listen, and it's okay if you do for entertainment factor, but if you want to make money, you have to apply this stuff. It's so important that you do this. Application is profit, okay? Education is entertainment. So you've got to apply this stuff. How many free reports do you give away at one time? Just one. Well, one at one time, yeah. Now I've got a whole lot of different free things that they can opt in for, but just one at a time. As a matter of fact, if it's a cold audience and it's somebody who doesn't know me, the shorter, the smaller, the more concise it is, the better. A one-page PDF works just as well as a longer one. As a matter of fact, if you've got a 40 or 50 page PDF, who the heck wants to read that anyhow? I don't want to read 40 pages of anything, right? The shorter the better. You don't have to put tons of effort into it. Just make it good quality. Make it proven, guys. Don't promise people stuff from whatever you're giving them if you haven't proven it. In other words, you haven't gotten results from it. Did you make money off it? Did you build your audience from it? Did you get sales? Did you get opt-ins? Make sure whatever you're giving people works, because they may try it. And if they try it and they don't get results, you've wasted your time. Okay? So make sure they do get results. Do you write your emails in Kartra or use another software? I write them all in Kartra. I just sit there, every now and then I'll use like a Word doc and do it that way, then copy and paste it. But for the most part, I just do it in Kartra. I like Kartra. It's really good. It's interesting. I've been testing stuff, and I sent out an email the other day. I think I sent it to 10 or 20,000 people, and I did one with a picture in it of what I was talking about, and one without a picture, and the one without a picture got double the click-through rate as the one with the picture. So I don't know. I took and I spent a lot of time doing this picture and making it look good, and it was all fancy, and it had a click here button, all that stuff, and it didn't do as well as no picture. So sometimes less effort will bring you more results, and I don't understand that. I never do understand that. Thoughts on short versus long emails? I do medium. I literally do medium. I don't do those super long ones that you got to scroll. You may have to scroll a half a page on mine. I think everybody's different there. I think everybody's audience is different there. Understand, I think a lot of people use emails wrong. Email is not to sell anything. Email is to get them to click. That's it. It's just like your subject line is not to tell them what's in the email. It's not about subject. It's to get them to open the email. Once they open the email is to get them to click. It's to put enough information there to where they want to click and get more of whatever you've said in that email. But if it says, buy this here now, it doesn't do as well as if you just get them to click. I almost never will put the price or exactly what you're going to get in an email, because if I put the price in there, they don't have to click. They're going to have to click to see the price, to see what I'm selling, to see what the discount is. All those things they're going to have to click to see it. I just did that with our canned meats. We are killing it. I mean, killing it, guys, with that email campaign. And I spent this email campaign goes out to people. They get an email a day for 4 days. And I think they get 2 or 3 the last day. And it took me 2 weeks to write that campaign and to put together the sales pages and all that. It took me 2 weeks. And that's for one of our size cans, the 28 ounce. Now I'm getting ready to do one for the 14.5 ounce. But you want to put a lot of thought into these emails. They really matter so much. And it's funny because I can write an email and then I can go back to that email a day or two later and I'm like, oh, this is awful. No, I got to change this. Why did I say this? So step away from it, go back and look at it. And this is true with your content too, your blogs. Watch some of your own videos. Sometimes I watch my videos. I'm like, I said that wrong. I did that wrong. And unfortunately on a live one like this, I can't take it back. You guys just got to put up with it. But go back and look at some of this stuff. You'll find, and what's really scary is I'll go back and look at something I wrote 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, oh, that's awful. It makes me cringe. It's like terrible. Oh my God, I got to change this. So that's something else I would tell you too. So yeah, I think we're near the end. I hate more than 2 links in emails. Had one with 5 links to a product. Yeah, I think the other problem with that, Paul, is that if you put too many links in there, it gets caught in spam filters. So you don't want to do that. I put 2 to 3 in mine. I need to click a button to see photos, etc. with email. Yeah, that's true too. That's very true. There's that curiosity that kind of clicks in, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, we're down to 9:29. So we've got our 30 minutes in. I don't know how we ended up with 30 minutes. Somehow that, throughout this year I've been doing that. I don't know how many months I've been doing this. I think 3 or 4 months where I've been going live every day. And today, right after this, I get to film 12 videos. 12 videos. So I'm going to be pretty busy today. But that's my day. That's what I chose to do. And it keeps the machine cranking, if you keep putting out that content. When doing a food product, do you run it through somebody to make sure it meets all regulatory requirements? Yeah, actually we have the USDA is on site where we do our canning. They have an office there and they check everything all the time. That's been done for years. I've been doing that product for over a decade now. But yeah, everything has to be run through compliance. My labels for the cans have to be run through compliance. Yeah, it's not like just what I want to do. What we say on the cans, the ingredients, the calories, all those things have to be run through compliance. So we do all that. All right, guys, do you have any more questions? If so, put them in that chat box. If you put them in here now and then I end and I don't get a chance to answer it, I will come back and answer it. If you're not watching this live, why not? Oh, you got something to do? You have a life? Oh, okay, well, I understand then. Well, if you're not watching this live, you can put your comments in the comment section, which will be below the video, right below the description, after I end this video here. I don't like when I have to leave email and visit another website to get the information. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I don't either, but it works. And that's the thing. You got to go with what works. A lot of things, like I hate pop-ups. I hate when I go to a website and there's a pop-up, but they work. I've had a pop-up on my survival food site for 6 years now, and it's made me millions of dollars. And I hate them, but they work. So I got to go with what works, not what I like. Unfortunately, James, that's the way this stuff works out. Thanks again, JR. Peace and blessings always, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, James. Appreciate every one of you being here. Don't forget, you need to subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm so close, just close. Help me get there. And don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love having you here. And I hope this helps you out. If so, share it with somebody. Give me a thumbs up and like the video if you would also do that. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later. Let me find the screen to turn this thing off, which is, let's see here. When in manufacturing food, do you check multiple suppliers monthly on product or stick with same? Now I have the same 4 farms that we buy our proteins from. I've had it for over 10 years. I don't change that at all because we have certain specifications, certain ways we want the animals treated. We do humane processing, we do non-mechanical separation. The animal has to be treated right, so there's no point in me switching any of that. I never do. And sometimes I run out because they can't supply enough. But yeah, I stick with what I got. Just do that.